You're listening to 515, the Ultra Podcast, the show that invites you into the lives of people who make up the Ultra family. Here's your host for these conversations, Larry Ryan.
Thank you, MJ. Well, we didn't preview the race this year, but today you get to hear from the 2024 Ultraman Arizona champion. And in just a second, some information from our sponsor, Ultra Tri-Fest Canada 2025. Today's episode is brought to you by Ultra Tri-Fest Canada, where you can race the traditional 515, a 515 relay, or a 515 non-stop. There's also a 360K format, which does not require a crew. And because we are hosting you in Whistler, there's also an Ultra Gravel race. And if you've always wanted to go to a 515 World Championship, check out the information on the website about our new Worldwide Championships, which is available to every 515 racer of all time. We are now asking athletes to express their interest in attending the 2025 event. Email us at ultratrifestcanada@gmail.com to express your interest in joining us in 2025. This will help us to determine a viable field for each of the events, and you will not have to pay an entry fee until it is confirmed. Again, get the information from ultratrifestcanada.com, proud sponsor of 515, the Ultra Podcast. Today's guest did her first Ironman race in 2011, and she did it as a pro. The following year, in 2012, she topped the podium at Ironman Lanzarote and went on to race the first of her 7 times in Kona, where she finished as high as 4th place. The reason she's been invited to the 515 podcast is to speak about her most recent outing, the Ultraman Arizona race in March, where she again was a champion, finishing in a time of 24:03:09 in a pink cape and a big smile. Denmark's Big Mac crushing queen, Michelle Vesterby. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. I love that intro, especially with the Big Mac. That's so spot on. I realized that I realized that really helped during an Ultraman, the burgers.
Is that a normal post-race treat for you, or was that just an Ultraman calorie deficit Big Mac?
It's actually because the guy I was traveling with, Lars, he has a big addiction, I didn't know, to burgers. So he just wanted to have burgers every single day. So normally it's not really a part of my nutrition, but it became. So, and it worked. It worked out pretty fine. So I think that the crab food goes straight into the brains, and then you're just ready to push again.
Right on, yeah.
It's out there, straight away.
Well, I don't know how many of these you've listened to, but I like to start with some hard-hitting questions. So my first question for you is, what is your favorite Lego set?
My favorite Lego set? Oh, we have a lot here at home. You know, I have 2 boys. The smallest one, he doesn't really play with Lego. He mostly put it into his mouth, which is not that good. I can tell you. That's why we keep the big Duplo Legos. You know, that's where we came to right away. So yeah. So I don't know what I think it's a Mickey Mouse, some Lego from Disneyland we brought home.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Danish, right? So we have to have Lego in the house.
And that's why I was asking, yeah. And how proud are Danes of Lego? Is it like a big deal for you, or is it just like, whatever, everybody thinks about that?
I came to Florida, actually. What was that? That's maybe 16 or something like that. And people were talking about Legoland there. And I was like, you do know it's Danish. It's not something American. It's Danish. You brought it. You borrowed it from us. And they were like, no, I'm pretty sure it's American. No way. So we have it's just a half an hour drive from me. We have the real Legoland here in Denmark. And we have the whole Lego family. You know, it's a family who's building it up and actually owns it. So it's pretty Danish, and also something you are pretty proud of, right?
Yeah, that's great. And I guess, you know, of other things that Denmark is well known for is probably number two or maybe number one, depending on who you are, is Hamlet. And then, of course, it's bikes. Well, I'm assuming bikes are a big part of your life. Everybody there commutes or just rides in general to get around on those. So I always ask people, like, how many bikes do you own? But in your case, I want to know, how many bikes do you own? And do you have any of those nice cruisers for going around town?
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of cruisers. And it is also the way we, every day I take the big cruiser where I can put the kids in the front to go to the kindergarten with them on the bikes. And actually, Marcus, he's 4 now. He can bike his own bike to the kindergarten next to us. So it's a pretty big thing here, as you said. So everyone is riding their bikes. I convinced Claus only to have one car because he can take the bike when the sun is shining, And I don't know how many bikes I have. I have a big cruiser. I have the cruiser for the babies. I have a mountain bike cruiser. I have my cross bike. I have a proper mountain bike. Few TT bikes, some road bikes, and then but if you ask me how many bikes my kids have, and they are 1.5 and 4, it's definitely also a handful. They have different kinds of bikes and all sizes. So I think that they could bike before they could walk, more or less, because you have these. Yeah,
and that's just the culture.
And it was
in
actually
Denmark.
funny Yeah, it is. And it's actually funny when I had the first one, Marcus, I was sponsored by Cannondale. So I got a gift from a big Cannondale shop in Belgium, like this little green, running bike. And it was so super cute. So we have a lot of bikes here for sure.
So do you have like a 3 or 4 car garage that just fits bikes and no cars? Like, as a family, you must have over 20.
We have a lot of our space is mostly suited with bikes, but it's just like a furniture, like the rest of like a sofa, right?
Yeah.
People are like, what is that you have hanging there on the wall? That's just my Kona bike from 15. Then I have my Kona bike from, it all has to have a bigger meaning, and it's normal here.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite triathlon bike?
So I have my when I finished 4th in Kona, one of my good friends, an author here in Denmark. Author, do we say that? Artist. He's painter.
Artist, yeah.
Artist. Difficult word. He painted that one. It's so pretty. So that one is hanging on the wall.
Oh.
And then the rest, I've been selling them. Through times, to people that's following me. And I feel it's cool to see your bikes out there riding. And all my Kona bikes has more or less been special painted since 2015 in different pink colors. And so it makes sense, to give them another life.
Oh, that's great, yeah. And of course, the one is just hanging on your wall now is art.
Yeah, that's art, exactly, yeah.
So do you ever name your bikes?
Oh, no, not really. It's not that crazy. It sounds already a little bit too crazy here, but no, I haven't named any of them.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I have, but I would not tell you that.
All right. Another thing that I know about Denmark is that it's often listed in the top countries for being the happiest countries in the world. And I know that your motto is keep smiling. So is that a reflection of your upbringing in Denmark and hygge?
Hygge. Yeah. Hygge is definitely hygge, yeah. That's definitely like cozy. It's definitely a Danish, thing, You are having hygge on Friday nights with candy and red wine, and it's just the same as you do. We just put a name on it, a tag, and I feel like I just think we have a lot of wienerbrød in Denmark, and that's what makes us happy. You know what wienerbrød is?
No.
The Danish pastry.
Oh.
You're also trying to steal that in America as well.
And call it a Danish.
Yeah, you call it Danish cake, and it's not really the same we're having when we come to the American that we has here. So, no, I definitely think that there's something about it, because now I've just been in America and I had a great talk with my host family about our health system here and our education system, and we are really privileged, so you don't have to pay if you get sick, you don't have to worry if you get sick, you don't have to worry about the school system, you actually get paid to take an education, so we are pretty privileged in a lot of ways. Then we have a lot of other things that we're struggling with that I think it's great in America, and I actually feel like when I'm coming there, I feel like people are more outgoing than in Denmark. They're so friendly and like, oh, hi, and you just feel really great and comfortable. You also do that in Denmark, but you're a little bit more introvert. It's like, it's mine, this is mine, and I feel like in America it's a little bit more open-hearted in a way. So, yeah.
So why do you have that as your motto, to keep smiling? What does that mean to you?
I think one of my first Ironman or second, the announcer was like, "Oh, here we have the happy Dane. She's smiling all the time." And a newspaper called me the assistant killer, the smiling killer. What is it called? Like
assassin. Assassin.
Assassin. Yeah. With my smile, and I was like, there's something about it, I don't know. I think if you look at my mother, she's always smiling. So I just think it's something that I've been used to through my childhood. I had a multi-handicapped brother who couldn't swim, bike, or run, and he died in a young age. And I always learned to deal with him. I saw my mom as a strong mother, also my dad as a strong dad for sure. He's still here and they're still together and a power couple. And I just think that I just felt privileged about my life and the opportunities. And after, I started triathlon in a pretty late age. I was 25 when I did my first triathlon. I was just like, I just have to remind myself how privileged I am. I decide what I want to do. I can just stop if I don't feel like it anymore. But it's just become a lifestyle, and I really appreciate the opportunities that I've been having through the sport. So if I cannot smile during a race, I should do something else. That's been my way of living.
Yeah. And what was it that got you into triathlon? Were you in it as a youngster, or did you have one of the disciplines, maybe biking?
No biking.
No.
Swimming. I actually crashed on my bike all the time, on my commuter bike. I was at the hospital a few times because I really couldn't ride a bike. So I haven't been that since I started being, professional. But yeah, when I was younger. So no, I was a former swimmer. Okay. But had a lot of years, with no sport at all. I was a party guide in Lloret de Mar in Spain, and I was working at Club La Santa. That's a sports resort, but I didn't do much sport when I was there. I was mostly at the discotheque. So, and also then I started studying. I have a master's degree in sport and health, and the first 3 years in my bachelor, I was like working at a bar all night. So, yeah, again, not much sport. But then I met my husband, Claus, and he got me into the sport. He was doing triathlon, and that way I got like, if I want to hang out with him, I have to train, Right. You know how triathletes are. Yeah. It's all their life. It's all their time. And he was pretty cute at that time. We're still married. Yeah. So I had to get started, and now I'm still here, and he chose to do something else when I kiss ass. Yeah.
I know that you also do a little bit of coaching. Are you able to instill that keep smiling into your athletes, or is that something that you kind of bring into your coaching, or do you just treat every athlete as their own thing and back off of that if it's, if they're going to be too serious to be a keep smiling person, or how's that work out for you?
I definitely try. Yeah. I'm like, also, it's not pro athletes, but there's still a lot of elite athletes around me. But it's also a lot of normal people, that just want to be a better version of themselves, that want to lose some kilo, that just want to exercise. And I'm just trying to push everyone to get out there, do some walking, do some running, to fit it into a busy lifestyle, because we're all busy. We all have a lot has families and jobs, and you want to cook, you want to clean, all this stuff, and just to put in some exercise in their life to give them a bit of extra energy so they can have this keep smiling or this extra spark in their life,
Yeah.
So it makes sense. So I definitely think that that's my approach also to everyone that I'm working with, to, hey, come on, you have to take the responsibility of your own life. And you don't have to be an Iron Woman or Iron Man. You just have to do something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess if they've contacted you and got to know you a little bit, they can expect that from you because that's just your personality.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be surprised by it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, and it will not be like. Also, again, I'm not trying to push anything over someone, that they are not. But I'm definitely trying to make them think about their life and what makes them happy. And it might not be my coaching or being active, but it could definitely be a help to a lot of people to just move away from that couch and go out, do a walk, do a sound book, do a podcast, something, just to get their minds aware of their everyday life and figure out, what do I want to do? What's your why?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw on your Twitter page that you've also written a book about coaching and a specific training for women. Can you maybe give us the little dust cover description of what your book's about then?
Oh, that's many years ago. Actually, I wrote that book. I've been writing one since that's called Keep Smiling, which is about the lifestyle, actually.
Okay.
But my triathlon book for women was more like just an easy guide to find your way into the sport, to find the small, ideas, to the swim, to the run, to the bike, and also, again, the mentality about, for me, it's like 80% in my head and 20% is just the training. So you can do so much more than you think, and just to give them a bit of tools to believe in themselves and not to be afraid of doing something new. Like when I did Ultraman Arizona, it was something new. How will people look at me now? I have my result. I could just stop, but I just have a love for the sport, and that's just what I wanted to give to these women sitting there saying, oh, I'm a mom now, I cannot do this, It's been so long. The first step is difficult, and I really, if I can take someone in their hands and help them over this first step, that's a big gift for me and what I wanted to give on.
What is your new book going to be about then? Keep Smiling.
No, I have already. That's already been published in 2022, something like that. Yeah. It's also about just my way of living, that it's two simple words that describe a lifestyle and some choices you can do in your life. So like there's some rules in there for being happy and trying to smile also when it gets rough, and then a little bit about my childhood and my experience through my career as a triathlete and also as a person. So, yeah.
And are these available through Amazon or in bookstores?
No,
are they English?
No, they're unfortunately, they're only in Danish.
Okay.
There was no Amazon knocking on my door saying, hey, can we publish that? Maybe when I've done some more ultras and I have some more story to tell, I write a big book that can come out in English too.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, before we get on to Ultraman Arizona, I would like for you to share maybe some of your Ironman background with us. It seems like it was fitting for you that you did your first Ultraman in Arizona, as that's where your Ironman career began as well back in 2011. And I understand that you came fifth at your first race. You must have thought this Ironman thing is so easy. What was your first Ironman like in Arizona?
It was actually like my first Ultraman in Arizona. I was like, I like this. I want to do more. I actually got hungry. So it was like, it wasn't planned that I should race Ironman Arizona back then. I was in Las Vegas to do the ITU World Long Distance. And then the swim got canceled. And I came from the swimming background. So I was really disappointed. And I was like, like, what should I do then? And then I don't know who it was that came up with, hey, there's an Ironman in Arizona in 2 weeks' time. Should we hear if you can sign up? And I actually got a slot into it. And we rented a car and extended our trip to the US. We drove to Arizona through Route 66, and it was like really, really awesome. Came there. I have never done a longer run than I did that weekend in Las Vegas on 30K. So I didn't know what to expect about anything, but I just went out there and did my thing, and I finished in 9 hours and 11 minutes, which was actually one of the fastest time ever in Denmark at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was, I missed it by 5 seconds or something like that. So it was like, this is fun. This is way more me than the ITU, where I have to be, in a group and I have to do what the other girls are doing. And it was just like, I just have to do me. And I really like that idea. And then I just like the change to Ironman was really easy. So that was what I wanted to do.
All right. Yeah. And so I'm guessing then you didn't have your 2012 race lined up at that point. Did you then choose Lanzarote after completing Arizona?
Yeah, so I raced Arizona and Lanzarote. I am sponsored by Club La Santa. I was already sponsored at this point, and Club La Santa is like the host of Ironman Lanzarote. So I've been biking there a lot and training there a lot. So it was like, this should be my first Ironman. Arizona was just like the first,
Right.
But the real first, we actually prepared a little bit for the Ironman race. So yeah, I did Ironman Lanzarote and felt like home soil, and maybe that was also why I won that Ironman. Yeah, it was just amazing. I was, I felt like a rookie. I just went out there, didn't know what to expect, and it ended out good. Sometimes it's the best races. It's where you don't expect anything. You just go out there, you do you.
Yeah, yeah. Without any expectation, without any knowledge as to what you should be doing, you just go out and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I was looking up your times and I saw that your Lanzarote time in 2012 was 9:58:06, and that was the winning time. But that's actually one of your slower Ironman times, because you're usually in the low 9s, or you have a handful of 8s as well. I believe
Lanzarote is the toughest one in the world, dude. That's right.
Yeah. That's...
Oh, it's a really, the winning times at that point was around the 10 hours, because it's like, what do we have? You have 3,000 meter of altitude there, and it's brutal. It's brutal. That's why.
Yeah. No, and that's what I wanted to get at is.
Okay.
Can you compare a Lanzarote to like an Ironman Texas? Like, how do those?
No. Yeah. No. But no, I learned through my time that you can't compare times in Ironman. It's so different with wind, weather, everything, right? Yeah. So, yeah. Because my fastest Ironman is like 8:38. So it's a big difference.
Yeah,
between a winning time in 9:57 and then an 8:38, right? So where I finished third, I think. Yeah.
And you said when I was doing some research that Kona is your favorite race.
Yeah.
I'm guessing not just because it's the championship. Can you tell us a little bit about what you like about going to Kona?
Oh, I just think Kona is like, again, a race you against you, because the wind, the weather, everything, you have to be smart. You have to adapt to the sponsor, the media hype. You have to listen to your own body leading into the race, not to do too much, not to get too excited. You just have to do you. And I think that was why it was really good for me. Back to the 80-20, if you take my measurement with a lot of the other women, they definitely have better view to max watts numbers on the bike and so on and so on. But when it comes to Kona, you have to, it's a lot about the mental part as well. And I think that's why I race good. over there on that island, and that's why I just have a special place in my heart. You said I raced that 7 times. I actually believe it's 9 time I raced there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. It doesn't matter. No, now I'm correcting you.
I only saw 7 times listed, I think, when I was adding them up. Yeah.
No, I think I did my first one in 12, and then I, of course, missed the 2020 and the 21 edition because of the corona.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got pregnant in 22, and I got my slot, moved to 23, and I raced there my last time. Yeah. So it's been just a big part of my life. I have a Kona family there, which I met the first time I sat into the flight coming back to how friendly the American people are. Sat next to this lady who lived at the island. They've just been my family. We've been meeting up with them every year. I just love the smell there, the atmosphere. Don't even get me started about what I love about Kona, because it's just have a really special place in my heart.
Yeah.
And now I found another excuse to get back, and I love that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so you did go back this past year in 2023 when you came back from your pregnancy. And what was your feeling of the race this year? With it being the women's only race, did you enjoy that? Did you miss the excitement of having the men and women together? How was it as far as like the way the event was actually run? Was it better this time because there was less people? What did you think of the whole idea of it?
I don't think it was better, but I don't think it was bad. I did expect it to be a little bit different in not such a good way, but it was actually okay. It was actually great to share the course with so many women out there. But of course, it's also a way where we meet the other pro guys, we hang out, it's also, the after party was a bit different with only women, So definitely it was different, but I don't think it was different bad, but it was different. So, and I just, again, I'm really a big sucker of the Ironman World Championship with the men and the women, because I've been doing it for so many years, and it's hard to change your mindset when you love something that much. So don't change too much. I really like that the World Championship, it's the World Championship, it's in Kona. I'm old school there. That's also why I don't feel any need to go to Nice.
Oh, okay.
Need to go to Nice. Right. Yeah.
And right now, are you looking to do more Ironman races? Are you going to be on the circuit this year?
Actually, not. I haven't said like I'm done, but I have not planned anything. So I'm racing Norseman.
The Norseman Extreme,
Yes, I'm racing that in August, which is an Ironman, but it's not in the Ironman circuit. It's something different. I feel like I need something different now. Where I am in my life, I need to challenge myself in a new way. I'm super scared about racing Norseman. I was super scared about racing the Ultraman, and that actually excites me and makes me want to go train. It's not enough just to do another Ironman. I don't feel like I have the time to put in the effort to be competitive in the Ironman circuits at the moment.
Right. Is that just raising your children now and things? Is that your focus more?
It is my focus, yeah. Of course, I still want to do good in the races that I'm doing. I have big expectation for myself racing an Ultraman later this year, and also for the X-Tri Norseman. Yeah. But it's a different way of training. I don't have to compare myself against my time during the last 10 years. The comparison is different. Yeah. Do you understand my Danish at all? Yeah. And I'm talking a lot right now.
Yeah, no, it's all in English. You've got all the words right.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. People write to me at 515ultraman@gmail.com or reach out through Facebook to ask how they can support the show since it's offered for free. Well, the next time a friend or family member is looking for a podcast to listen to, tell them that you enjoy 515 the Ultra Podcast. Or share my Facebook and Instagram posts on your timeline to reach your friends. It is really that simple. Recommendations are one of the most important ways that podcasts grow. Thank you again for listening and for doing your part to share the show. Well, let's get into your Ultraman experience. You followed in the footsteps of some other pros that have moved over to Ultraman for that new challenge. There was Hilary Biscay, Didi Griesbauer, Kate Bevilacqua, Leanda Cave. And on the men's side, just last year, Simon Cochran raced 3 times and broke the world record going sub 20 hours. Did you talk to any of those people before doing this to get some advice about how to race an Ultraman?
Not much. I probably could have done more. I did write a little bit with Didi about, is it great? And she was like, yeah, you will rock it. And then we actually didn't talk more about that.
Oh.
And so I actually went over there like, how should I actually deal with this? I think race morning, especially on the run day, I was like walking around talking to him. I was like, what should I do? How do I attack this? And I got some really good advice on race morning that I took in. And I really believe that was what made me run all the way to the finish line. Like there was a guy telling me like, when it gets hard, it doesn't get any harder. And I really like that one because you just have tired leg already in the beginning. And it's just like, okay, it's hard now. It's only 10K, but it doesn't get any harder. Yeah. So just relax here, and just keep moving, never sit down. Those was my 2 mantras during the run.
Yeah, that's an important one. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you've joined some of the women who have won outright Ultraman races. Didi has, Kate has. There was another Canadian woman, Amy Robitaille, at Ultraman Canada, who's won a race outright. Did you have any expectation going into the race that you would win this race, being a pro, or were you like, this is so foreign to me, I just want to go in and have the challenge?
Exactly. I was really trying to not make it a competition, Don't care about what the rest are doing, just do you. But of course, when you get in the race suit, you get the number on, you get your disc wheel on, you just want to hammer, just want to get to the finish line. And also, again, I brought my friend Lars there, and he was like, if you're not in after 8 hours, I will go home, So that was my limit every day. I had to get in before 8 hours, or else he would just leave the building, and I had to drive or bike home. No, it was okay. But, that was just my mantra, just to get it done as fast as possible so I could go home and relax. And we had some rough days over there, which it wasn't possible for me to finish under 8 hours. So luckily he waited for me anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that too in just a second. Yeah. I was following the race with the weather and stuff. But you're mentioning your crew. Maybe just give a little shout out to who was on your crew. Tell me who they were and why did you choose those people to be a part of your crew?
Yeah, but again, when you come from Denmark, it's expensive to get there. And I was like, I don't even know what I need to bring. And Lars is my really good friend, a part of my coaching business here. He's also a racing pro. And we were like, we can do this on our own, right? And he was like, we don't need any other crew members. We will just fix it. But you needed another crew member. And I was actually reaching out. This local girl wrote me on an Instagram one day, and he was like, should I help you? I would love to crew for you, or just let me know if you need anything. And in the beginning, I was like, no, we are fine. And I was like, and she's a Danish girl. And I was like, Pia, can you actually help? Oh, I will ask my boss if I can get off job. And she went there and she was crewing and she was great. And it was like, I don't know what we have done without her. Oh, yeah. She was simply amazing. Lars is not really organized and I'm not really organized. And she was like stressing on our behalf. We just met her the day before for the morning brunch on Thursday. Yeah. And she was like, don't you have done that and that and that? Oh, I can see we're busy now to figure out the nutrition and buy some more. And, so she was organizing everything. And then I was actually living with this homestay family there, which I met some friends of them when I raced my first Ironman Arizona. And they were like, you can live with these guys. And then it ended up that Preston, the guy in the house, he's 78 years old. He's been flying in Vietnam, for the American Army back in the days. And he was like, I can be the driver.
Oh, great.
So it was like, okay, deal. So I signed up another one. So he was the driver for the first 2 days there. And he knew all the roads. And he was like, Yeah, so it was perfect again. So my whole team ended up being absolutely amazing, and they were just all into the "Keep Smiling" motto. So it was, yeah,
Yeah.
a great crew
And
and a
and the
fun
Danish
some
woman, what did you say her name was?
Pia.
Pia. Had she
Pia,
crewed
yeah.
before at Arizona or at a
No,
race or had an idea of what it was about?
no, she's done an Ironman before back in the days. She actually did meet a friend who did it the year before. She was there for her running part, just
Okay.
to cheer on her. So
Hmm.
she thought it was exciting, but really didn't know anything. She'd been driving the course when we were not there just to prepare because she was
Oh,
again stressed on my behalf.
yeah.
So it was really good because we haven't seen anything of the course before
Mm.
we biked there on
What a
race
great
day.
person to get on your crew. That's the
Yeah,
true
definitely.
ultra experience there.
Exactly, both of them. Also, like
Yeah.
Preston, that just wanted to, he had to cancel some golf with his wife, and 78 years old.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it was amazing.
Nice. Well, you touched on it a little bit earlier that the conditions at the race were not ideal. Were you able to keep smiling despite the weather in Arizona? I know that the swim was in the not so pleasant lake this year. Tell me a little bit about how the swim went for you. I know for some people it was quite a disaster, but you managed to get out of the water fairly quickly. So hopefully it was better for you.
I actually think it was pretty pleasant. I think it was not that cold,
Mm,
and there was not that many waves. It was actually pretty nice, the lake. I
okay.
don't think anyone can complain about that. Um, The biking though, on day one, I was like, day one is easy. That will just be a long training day.
Mm,
I've done that before. I haven't swam 10K before, but I can manage that.
mm,
But the bike ride turned out to be in pouring rain, and a little bit dangerous, I would
mm.
say,
Yeah.
because with the rain and with the cars not used to having people biking 30 plus K an hour downhill, I actually, the only really issue I got after the race was not my leg. It was like I got shin spits, does it call that?
Yeah.
In my arms. I think for holding my handlebars so tight,
Right.
especially on day one, because it was a little bit challenging. So I don't think I was smiling that much at that point. When I crossed the finish line, I have this video like, oh, what an awesome weather, and I was freezing cold.
Yeah.
It was so cold at this point. I was trying to not be the grumpy one because I still had 2 days to go, and
Right.
that will be a nightmare with a bad mentality. And I was again also feeling privileged because when I was home getting a Big Mac, laying in my Normatec, having a warm cup of tea, I knew that some of the other ones were still out there
Yeah.
riding their bike in the pouring rain. So again, about reminding yourself to be privileged, I was pretty privileged there and
Yeah.
pretty warm at this point, and they were pretty cold and still had another day to go as well. So
Right.
two more days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just looking back at your times, you were second out of the water, and your 10K swim was a 2:41. That was behind another woman, Maggie Walsh, who came in at 2:39 and a half. She set the new record. That swim record, of course, is just over 2 years because 1 year at Arizona they had to cancel the swim due to the weather. So you're right up at the front there coming out of the water. And by the end of day one, you had a 4:46 bike time on your 145K. So you had a total of 7:27:08. And that's actually the second fastest day one recorded behind Maxim Nezev, who set the record last year. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
But now that I know you just had that 8 hour time limit in your own head, it just makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Yeah. No, I wish that I could have pushed even faster because I had a really high, adherence after the first 100K, and then the rain came and the
Yeah.
challenging part where I was like, I don't take any chances here. So I have to
Right.
come back and thank for sunshine. I heard it never rains in Arizona, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
On day
definitely not.
one, is that when you go through toward the end of the day, you go through that park and there's like a sweeping downhill and there's no shoulder anymore when you're going up the hill. Is that part?
Yeah, and it's really nice, going downhill, because you have like 30K downhill where you can have a lot of speed, but you also had a lot of rain, and then you have all these side roads, right, where I was like, they cannot see me. So I really had to brake a lot on the downhill part. Everyone has to. And there was also like some road work where it's like, you have to take your bike up on I definitely did that, to take it up on there was like a little bike path. You can bike there, but it was it was a bit challenging. I think that they could close the course next year for such an important race, right?
Yeah, for those 20 people out there. Yeah.
Exactly. That's crazy, yeah. For the 20 crazy people, why not?
Yeah. Well, then moving on to day 2, then that's the 276 kilometer ride. You did it in a time of 8:50 and 12 seconds, which made you the fastest woman by almost 2 hours on that day. I know there's a lot of lights on the course on that day. Did you have to stop a lot? Did you enjoy the stopping to get the...
No.
Or you wanted to keep going? Like, how'd that go?
I hated the stop sign, and I hated the light, to be honest. And especially there's like the 30K road down in Tempe where it's like light every K or something like that. It feels like in every corner.
Yeah.
And I also think, again, that's also what been like, my arms has been so tired by stopping. And I have to say here, so there was this right turn where my crew member, he like filmed it. We put a lot on Instagram, and he filmed it. He was like, just go. You're allowed to bike in these corners. I've been stopping like for 8 hours straight.
Right.
And then he filmed it. He put it on social, and he was like, I don't think I'm allowed. But I was like, okay, I just eased around. I got a 6-minute penalty put into my time. So I
saw your penalty.
So I was actually on the 24 hours, just so you know.
Okay.
And the finish time. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that was lots of stop sign. And it just ruined your rhythm. And I like to have head down and to hammer on my TT. And the roads are actually perfect for me in Arizona because they are pretty flat, right? Yeah. Rolling hills.
Yeah, I know. I was there crewing last year for Shane Duffy, and one of the things that we did is along that section where there's a ton of lights, we tried to just jump ahead every second light type of thing and find a place to pull over every second or third light, then stand at the light with nutrition and press the button to get the walking man going if we could. And then if he had to stop, we had some stuff there for him. And if not, he's flying by, even better, So people that are doing this race next year going forward, there's one tip for you.
Yeah, that's smart. My crew didn't do that at all. They were waiting like 30K down the road, and I was like red in my head of stopping. No keep smiling there.
No.
Of course there was.
And then, so we get to the end of day 2, and at that point, you've got a pretty good lead. You're an hour and 38-minute lead heading into the double marathon on day 3, which is nearly 4 hours better than the previous woman for a 2-day total. Your 2-day total was 16 hours, 17 minutes and 20 seconds. So going into the run, first of all, have you ever run that far before? And you were saying that you were getting some tips for the run, but did you feel comfortable? Like at this point, were you thinking, oh, I can actually win this thing? Or were you still a little nervous that, hey, there's some great ultra runners out there and I don't know how I'm going to perform on this run?
I definitely didn't know how I would perform. I never ran further than the 42K I've done in an Ironman. My training leading up to this race, I not ran more than 30K. I've been having a little bit of foot issues, not something that we need to talk about. So I was a little bit, how will everything hold up for me running 84K? So in the morning, I was definitely nervous. I didn't think about winning the race. I was just thinking about me getting to that finish line.
Right.
And everyone, if you ask anyone, I was really nervous and just, you know, more for the day challenge than for anything else. You know, you had tired legs. How will your body react? Do I have stomach issues? Have we done it right the days before? Because that's also meaning a big part of the run, right? So
Yeah.
I just decided to go out there finding my own pace. I was hoping that I would have someone to run with, you know, so I could chit chat because that's a big part of my personality. I love to have someone to run and to chat with to just get some case going.
Yeah.
But I was running more or less the 84 case by myself, so
that's
not much company. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, just a quick break here to let you know about some of the incredible guests that I have lined up through the summer. The next episode is going to feature Jeff Morris, the Australia race director. We catch up on what's happening down under and give you a full rundown of all the athletes who will be competing there this May. Listen past the credits today for a quick piece of that conversation. Later in May, I'm speaking with Epic 5 and Uberman finisher Melissa Uri. And after the success of the past roundtable episode, I have invited a number of female Ohana members to a discussion about women in ultra. Steve King has agreed to do an AMA, Ask Me Anything episode during the summer. So watch the socials about how to get your question to Steve or how to join the live Zoom when we record that episode. By the end of the summer, I will also be speaking with Ingrid Hillhouse, who I'm sure many of you know from your trips to Hawaii. She has some interesting news to share. Remember, if you do not want to miss any of these great guests, be sure that you subscribe to the podcast. If you know someone that I should talk to, do what MJ says at the end of every episode and let me know. All right, let's get back on the Ultraman Arizona course with Michelle. Jen has made a course there where they have that nice uphill up through the park at about kilometer 70, I think it is, or something.
Yeah.
Were you prepared for that? I mean, you probably saw it on the profile, but did you ever go look at it?
No, and I had no idea that it could be so brutal. And it was not even the up running part that was the bad thing. You know, it was running downhill
right, of course,
after running plus 70K. You know, it was so painful. And I think my slowest kilometers on this 84K was actually my downhill running. So that was brutal. That was definitely unnecessary, that hill. Not that hill, those hills, because it was a lot of up and down out there. There was 2 killer hills. Or 3 or 4, I don't know. It was just brutal. But you knew, and then it was like, oh, now the rest is downhill. Yeah, thank you very much. Can I just have some straight parts? I don't want all this up and down anymore. I'm done with it.
Yeah. So you did really well on the run. You were the second runner on the day, 15 minutes behind Fernando Lopez. He finished 4th overall. Your time was 7:45:49. So I'm guessing your friend was still there when you finished. And then you set the female record by an hour. Are you happy overall with your Ultraman experience? What did you think of how the whole race went? And not just the race, but like the race week, the leading up, the after, the celebrations, the camaraderie of joining together with all the racers that Ultraman's so famous for. I'm guessing you had some idea of what you were getting in for, but how did you, when you reflect back on the experience, feel like this event went for you?
Oh, I think it was really great. I wish that I could have spent a bit more time there. You know, I finished quite alone in the front, and it was like pouring rain. Day 1, we have to get home as fast as possible. And actually on day 3, the last day, I wanted to wait, but again, it started raining badly, you know, and it was super cold, and your body is tired, you're exhausted. And then I had to fly home Monday morning, and imagine how painful that was for the legs, but even more painful because I really wanted to have celebrated. But it was a great atmosphere. It was a really great group of people and crew members, and it definitely also was a big part of the experience that we were together on this, and everyone was so nice and so cheerful out there. So I cannot wait to be back and to do more. We also came in a bit late, and that was a bit rough for me again with the jet lag. So feeling tired, getting to bed early the days leading up to the race, and we lived a bit away from the venue. But yeah, the whole setup, the crew members and everything, it was just great. I brought some Keep Smiling merch so I could see them out there, so perfect that they actually did wear it.
Oh, nice. Good,
that helped me a lot as well. Yeah. So some more amazing people, and also again just different people, which I found really great. It was really competition against yourself, and overall, yeah, I was really proud of my performance because I didn't know what to expect. I was definitely proud of my running because I didn't think that it was possible for me to keep that pace over that long a distance. It's totally different from my Ironman pace. But it felt great, and I wasn't that smashed afterwards.
So we can expect a better time from you in Ultraman Hawaii then later this year?
Probably. Probably. That's the goal. Not that, again, it's difficult, as we talked about, to compare courses. And if we get a really rough Hawaii days, then nothing will be beatable. But if we get like a nice blue sky, 35 degrees, that's just me, then definitely there's an option.
There's definitely more climbing on the bike there. Definitely potential for. Oh yes, way more climbing.
Seriously? Is that possible? Seriously? No. Oh, okay. I haven't signed up yet, so I will consider it again. Thank you very much.
Oh no, you gotta. And of course the hot run, but you will definitely get some rain there in Hawaii as well. So bring your rain gear.
Will it rain in Hawaii? Yes. Come on, at that time of year, maybe.
Pretty much every year, yeah.
No.
You mentioned that you're looking to do probably Ultraman World Championships, the Norseman Extreme, and then what's in the future after that? You're focusing on being a parent, but what are we looking forward to?
I don't know. Hit me with some good ideas, some crazy stuff that I can challenge, and I'm up for more or less anything. I actually don't know where the wind will take me. If I feel like I want to race some more Ironmans, or if I want to do some just running, or what my body will tell me to do. It's also about that. I've been in the game for a lot of times and a lot of years. So I definitely think that the longer, the better, because I'm this diesel, I have to get started. So in that way, it really suits me well. I don't think I will do longer than an Ultraman. I think that's enough for me when it comes to triathlon. So, but hit me with good ideas if you're listening out there. I'm up for it. Race across America could be fun as well. I'm not allowed to do that. My husband says no, it's too dangerous.
Well, there's the Ultra Brazil, the Ultraman distance race in Brazil.
That's not one of the qualification races.
No. But they're good people, and they have a good race too.
Okay, cool. I always wanted to race Ironman Brazil, and I never got to do it. So that might be an option. Yeah.
And I have a guest coming up in a couple episodes who has done the Uberman. Have you heard of the Uberman?
What is that?
The Uberman is a swim from Catalina Island, which is off of Los Angeles, 32 kilometers to the mainland. And then you bike, I think it's like 700 kilometers into the Badwater Basin. And then you do the Badwater Ultra Marathon, 217 kilometers.
Okay, thank you very much, but no, thank you. That sounds a little bit too crazy, even for me.
Yeah, that's getting up there.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, thank you very much for coming and telling us about your race in Arizona, and welcome to the Ohana of Ultraman. And we look forward to seeing what you do coming in the future.
Thank you very much.
Hey, if you liked what you heard today, please tell a friend and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We'd appreciate it if you'd rate and review the show while you're there. Drop the names of the people you think we should interview and we'll get in touch with them and make that happen. Thank you for listening to 515, the Ultra Podcast, a production of 55 Enterprises. Now really, go subscribe now before you forget.
What happens on Tuesday is people get up on stage and talk about this thing that happened on course, and we busted a wheel and this team came along and they gave us a wheel, or we found our Mars bars were out of date and they gave us more nutrition, and you just go, I didn't know this happened. It's almost uncomfortable. You go, hang on, we should have been on top of this. But no, this is the race and this is the tribe that comes from it. And the stories are beautiful. You laugh, you cry, you get goosebumps, and
Absolutely.
It's the most spectacular time. So yeah, it's the Tuesday is the payoff for, particularly for me and my team. I think we work, the race finishes Monday and then we've got to get everything ready for Tuesday. So Tuesday is when we can switch off, but we see the smiles, we see the tears, and every hour that we spent in the past year bringing this to fruition is paid back in spades. And I know all my team look forward so much to that Tuesday. So yeah.